Hello everyone, my name is Kennybyte. In this video, I will be reviewing a recently released JoJo game on Roblox called Project Star. This game is developed by only 2 devs, who are planning to increase the amount of people working on the game due to its rising scale and popularity. Now, without further delay, let's start the review. The first thing that we will be reviewing is the progression. When you start out, you are greeted with a tutorial, which will help you ease into the basic combat mechanics of the game, as well as insert you into the storyline that this game has. After the tutorial, I assume most players are lost and have no idea where to go. There is a lack of handhold, and most new players will be left wandering around the map, which I will be talking about later on in the video. Additionally, although this game has an item called a quest log, which can theoretically help new players and guide them to quests of their level, it does not work, which is due to bugs that plague this game due to its early release. I will also be talking about bugs separately in this video. Another thing related to progression would be one game pass, specifically the motorcycle game pass. This game pass costs 500 Robux and is an absolute godsend for progression. With this game pass, you are able to progress at a phenomenal speed compared to without, since most of the time, you will be walking distances that can only be described as walking across continents. Let's move on to the next related topic, the map, as well as the visuals. The map is amazing. The visuals are eye-pleasing, and the details such as the props are great. Visually appealing, a new player would instantly get hooked on the visuals, that is to say, until they start progressing through the game. You see, the map is visually appealing, like in the city, as well as other areas. The main issue is that the map is so phenomenally large, players will spend about most of their time walking around the map and moving from place to place. This is why the motorcycle game pass, as I said before, is a godsend, since it will cut walking times by a huge amount and increase your progression speed by an insane amount. I would even say that this is pay to win, since you're actively paying money in order to boost your progress permanently. I approve of paying for cosmetics, or a temporary boost in things such as experience points or money, since it is only temporary, but personally, I do not approve of paying for a permanent increase in progress speeds. The motorcycle is just too good. I think that all players need to have the same opportunities for progression, and not just pay more for better progression. The third thing that I will be talking about is the combat. To be blunt, combat in this game is inconsistent and I dare say terrible. I will be talking about 2 separate things related to combat. It is NPC combat and player combat. To start off, NPC combat is terrible. If you have played the game for a considerable time, you will notice that NPCs will find every possible way to punish you for any attack, much like how water always finds a way. Close range combat against NPCs is terrible. There are cases where NPCs attack you during your M1s, hit you while you are ragdoll, and NPCs ganging up and permanently stun you. Simply put, close ranged combat is unreliable and terrible, which is why ranged combats is much more favored. Back in testing, ranged stands such as the Emperor are vital for progression, due to the no risk it offered in contrast to close range stands. This problem carried over to the release date. Since one form of combat is so risky and detrimental, people instead favored stands with ranged combat capabilities. Some examples of these stands include Magician's Red, the Emperor, Horus, Hierophant Green, and many more. As for player combat, although I have very little experience in that regard, I would say that both close ranged and ranged stands have equal combat capabilities. The combat in this game is also similar to a Universal Time, but with the bugs and flaws it has, it isn't really up to par. I wouldn't actually batter the game with negative remarks about the bugs though, since this game was a 2-man developer job and is still in early release. Another thing that may be related to combat would be the controls. It is very nice that Project Star shows all your available moves and cooldowns on the bottom right side of the screen, It is a great quality of life feature. The only negative aspects would be dashing, which is bound to double tap on any of your directional keys, WASD. This is personal opinion, but I would much rather have the option of combining dash with a certain key for convenience and easier control. The fourth thing that I will be talking about are items. Back in testing, items are plentiful due to the lack of players. The released game, however, has little items. This may be due to the fact that players can buy an infinite item multiplier for around 1,250 Robux. It is a very pay-to-win model in my opinion. Another thing is that there are so many players around, leading to no items, which I wouldn't actually blame the game on. One concern that I have is the way Rokaka spawn, as well as farm. You see, later on the storyline quest, you are given access to a Rokaka garden, which regularly spawns Roka. The problem is, I think there may be a chance that all players would just camp in that area for Rokas. But that just may be my guess, since I haven't actually seen that happen, and I've only seen one person at a time in the garden. Last but not the least, we will be talking about the bugs. Forgive me for my stutter. I do have to give the only two developers some slack for it, since it is still in early release and the game is a two-man job until very recently searched for more developers. The game currently is dealing with bugs, which can affect progression. One example of such a bug would be enemy NPCs not spawning in their spawn locations for a quest. I have been stuck in a DO Industries quest in both testing and the release version of the game, which shows how much it can halt a player's progress. The bug bugged me to no end, no pun intended by the way, which made me drop the game for a while. Another bug that affected combat was a slow attack bug, where all of your attacks come out slow and you are not able to chain at once. I am not sure how this would affect other attacks, stands, or specialties. I would just like to point out that this bug exists. Hello everyone, this is Editor Kenny. I would just like to say that as of recording this video, the M1 bug has been fixed. Approximately 4 hours of editing this video, as well as the DO Industries mobs have been fixed. Their spawn rates have been fixed. I props to the developers for fixing these bugs in such a short amount of time. And yeah, the devs have done a really good job. So that's all I have to say. Please expect some other bugs though, since this game is still in early release. That is all. Thank you. I guess that about wraps it up for my review on Project Star. Please note that this is an early release review, and that certain points may be invalidated as changes are made to the game as it develops with due time. Once again, this is Kennybyte, and thank you for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next video.